Hey everyone, welcome back to another dividend investing video and portfolio update. July 2024 is now in the past as we come into August. My dividend growth income portfolio has been absolutely on fire, just like the weather here. Now, July was a month of vacation for myself. I spent some time in Europe with my family members, and so I wasn't making content, but I kept those weekly contributions going in and continuing to build up this account and the passive income stream it is generating. And in today's video, I'm going to show you all the stocks I purchased and the dividends received for the month of July. A truly incredible month, and I'm sure many of you fellow dividend investors had a great month as well. So let's just get into it. I'm Nick, and this is the Dividend Growth Income channel. Thank you for joining me today. I'm not a financial advisor or guru. I'm just a regular guy who wants to share my love of dividend growth investing and building financial independence with passive income. If you could, please do me a favor, smash the like button and subscribe to keep up with future videos. This helps us out more than you can imagine with the algorithm, so we can bring you more quality dividend investing content. July was a great month for many dividend stocks. And I mean, check this out. While the S&P 500, it's slightly down over the last 30 days from August 1st. While one of our favorite dividend ETFs, SCHD, has pushed itself to new heights, reaching over $82 and even touched $83 earlier this week at the time of publishing. It's up almost 5% over the month of July. And with SCHD being a large holding in the fund, and I have a lot of the stocks that are in SCHD also as individual holdings, my own account did similar. We started the month with a value of $28,300, and between the contributions added for July and the market gains, and of course the dividend income received, here at the end of July, this account is now sitting at over $31,000, hitting new highs, breaking that 30K mark while I was out on vacation. Was a very cool thing to see. Looks like the biggest jump we've seen over a 30-day period this last July. So it's been really awesome. All the stocks I hold are doing well. It's also kind of creating some interesting dilemmas though too. Now, I started this account a few months shy of 2 years ago from $100 where I bought a couple ETFs and have added to this account every week since then. Consistency pays off. I added $27.1 thousand of my own money. And when we look at how the portfolio has performed and the dividends it's collected, we are now up about 16% at this point in time. So needless to say, I am pleased with this progress right here. And the portfolio today is yielding about 2.7%. And if you've been following me, you know that I'm not chasing dividend yield or current income today. I'm not trying to maximize that at all. Rather, I'm focused on what I see as quality companies that have a track record of growing their free cash flows and annual dividend payments. So my current yield on cost is 3.07%. And this is what it's yielding based on what I've actually invested in terms of my own cash. And right now the portfolio is estimated to pay out $852 over the next 12 months. And this would be assuming I made no more purchases or none of the companies in here grow their dividend payments in the next 12 months. And then I turned off automatic dividend reinvestment. So this number is only going to continue to go up. $850 a year is definitely not a life-changing amount of money. It's on average $71 a month, or you could think of it as $16.40 a week, or $2.34 per day. So if I had to, I suppose I could use it to pay a utility bill. So it'd probably cover my gas and water bills for the average month. But I'm just going to continue to let these dividends reinvest. And I'm going to continue adding more cash, making more purchases, because in time, this will be something significant. It just takes the time and consistency to get there. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and share my purchases for the month of July 2024. I do have two accounts I prioritize over this account. It's my work 401k where I get some company match. And I also max out my Roth IRA over the course of the year. I make those weekly purchases on Monday in my Charles Schwab Roth IRA. And then on Wednesday of each month, I add cash into my Fidelity taxable account, my Dividend Growth Income Portfolio, this account that we're talking about, and we purchase dividend growth stocks and ETFs in the account. Now I have a goal of adding in 16 grand in this particular account over the course of 2024. 7 months in, I am 61% of the way to that goal. I've added $9,750 so far for the year. And I'm on track to meet this goal, I would say, pretty much. Right on track to do that. Lately, I've been adding $300 per week into the account. That's what's been feasible for me. And that's how we did July. I actually made my purchases on Tuesdays because I was on vacation for much of the month, and logistically, that was a better day to do it because there's some travel days on Wednesdays that were pretty heavy. Now, it's interesting being in Europe and investing in the U.S. markets. I was in Spain buying stocks around 5 or 6 p.m. as opposed to 7 or 8 a.m. like I would normally do here in the States. And I was looking for places to average down in July, but the portfolio has been performing so well, there's just not much averaging down going on. It's a nice problem to have, I suppose. So there were 5 weeks of purchases in July, so I added $1,500 in cash total into the account in July in new cash. Now here's what I purchased. I was primarily buying in $100 chunks. On July 2nd, I added $300 split 3 ways, $100 in McDonald's, ticker MCD, $100 in automatic data processing, ticker ADP, $100 in Medtronic, ticker MDT. Okay. And then on July 9th, I added another $300, split 3 ways, $100 more into McDonald's, loving the discounts I was getting there that week, $100 in Starbucks, ticker SBUX, $100 in Snap-on, ticker SNA. A week later, on July 16th, another $300 was added to the account, $100 more in Starbucks, $100 into Mondelez International, ticker MDLZ, $100 in MasterCard, ticker MA. And then on July 23rd, I was back home, sadly, recovering from jet lag, but I still managed to add my $300, and I purchased $100 of Home Depot, ticker HD, $100 of Cisco Systems, ticker CSCO, and $100 more of automatic data processing. And then on July 30th, I added the final $300 for the month of July. I used it to beef up some of my lower positions, as everything is basically in the green at this point. Procter & Gamble saw a nice drop that morning, so I did pick up $100 of Procter & Gamble, and I bought $100 of Next Year Energy, ticker NEE. I hadn't bought any of that in a while. And then $100 of Waste Management, ticker WM, which has just been, an expensive stock in my opinion. So all in all, $1,500 of new purchases. Again, not focused on yield, as I am buying stocks like MasterCard and Waste Management. Dividend growth and total growth is what I am seeking here. All right, so let's go ahead and share the dividend income that we received in the account for the month of July. There were 9 dividend payments altogether. On July 1st, 2024, my first dividend payment of the month came from Automatic Data Processing, ticker ADP, in the amount of $4.58, which was subsequently reinvested. On July 2nd, I collected my quarterly dividend from Vanguard S&P 500 Index ETF, ticker VOO, in the amount of $5.69, and this was reinvested back into VOO. That's my favorite ETF. On July 3rd, I received a hefty dividend payment, at least a hefty for this young account, from Vici Properties, ticker VICI, in the amount of $14.25. Like I said, it's all relative, which was reinvested and purchased for nearly half a share. Love seeing these payments grow as this account grows. It's pretty awesome. There were no dividend payments for about a week after that, and then the middle of the month hits, and on July 12th, Mondelez International, ticker MDLZ, paid $5.77, which was reinvested. By the way, they just announced today on August 1st an 11% dividend hike, so I'm very happy to be holding on to Mondelez in this account. On the 15th, Agri Realty, ticker ADC, paid out $4.23. This is one of the 2 monthly payers in the account. By the way, they also just had their credit rating upgraded, so this is a stock that's done quite well in the portfolio and is doing well elsewhere too. So on the 16th, I received a payment from Medtronic PLC, ticker MDT, in the amount of $5.77. This is a healthcare equipment maker, and I've been disappointed in their dividend growth, but happy to collect that extra few bucks, and it was reinvested into Medtronic. Then on the 17th, my payment from Main Street Capital, the other monthly dividend payer in the fund, that was at $4.12. I would really like to get some more of this one. Also up surprisingly high on Main Street, which is part of why I haven't added more lately, but I'm likely going to nibble on it a little bit just to keep it in the mix. And there's no more dividend payments then until the 24th. But I did receive a pair of payments. First was from Cisco Systems, ticker CSCO, in the amount of $7.72, and finally Comcast, ticker CMCSA, came in with $8.37. And in both cases, those dividends, like all the others, were just reinvested. So all in all, I collected $60.49 in the month of July. And I can compare that to the $18.98 we collected this time last year in July of 2023. That is some pretty respectable growth, I think. And I also compare that to the $45.44 we took in a quarter ago in April. This is on that January, April, July, October cycle. I think the progress is doing, I can't complain at all, guys. It's pretty sweet. Okay, let's take a look at how we performed for the month of July. Then we're going to look at the individual stocks in the account. I do need to make a proper video stepping through each position a little more in depth than what we're going to do today. Today, I'll just kind of give you a look at it. Now, July had the strongest individual month in this portfolio since its creation back in September of 2022. The portfolio grew by 5.8% with $1,734.33 in gains. That was between unrealized stock price appreciation and dividends received. Then you factor in the $1,500 of new cash infused into the account. We saw the value here jump over $3,000 in that month of July. We ended July 31st at a balance of $31,622.74. This was a month that we outperformed the S&P 500, and many of my dividend stocks had a solid month. I'm sure many of you are seeing similar results. Now, on the year, the account is up about almost 10%, almost $3,000, in addition to the $9,750 that were also added in new cash purchases. Now, since we last checked in, things really took off. Here are the holdings in the portfolio, and I can sort these in a number of ways. Right now, they're alphabetical, but let's look at these by weight. That tells us where we are invested the heaviest. And this brings up our top positions. The first three are always ETFs. I've not been buying the ETFs as much in recent months for a few reasons. I'm buying almost entirely ETFs in two other higher priority investment accounts, the retirement accounts I mentioned earlier. And also because I think these are all pretty expensive right now. Everything is sitting at all-time highs. So I'm going to focus on more individual stocks where I think I might find some value. And if you look through this list, I am green on every single position except for a few, which I'm barely down on. My worst is Chevron, which took a large drop today, but it's not even down 2% in the fund. So the consequence of having all of your stocks going up and up and up is you end up in a position where no matter what you're doing, you're averaging up, which isn't the best feeling in the world when you're still investing and trying to build. But some folks would argue maybe these are times to put some cash on the sidelines, but I'm a proponent of dollar cost averaging. Whether the markets are up or down, I want to get myself invested. And the value investor in me would not mind seeing things go, say, 13% in the other direction when you're averaging down on these quality companies. So it's even more important right now that I focus on less on averaging up or averaging down and really just finding the right combo of value and quality right now. And if you're a longtime follower, subscriber, you know this, and I really appreciate you. This isn't to say that keeping some money on the sidelines is a terrible idea, especially, with the high yield savings rates. I'm not knocking that at all, but I will, no matter what, always keep investing something, right? Question I've been getting asked a lot is, do I see myself taking some profits here maybe and moving this money to something else? I could, but that's unlikely. There's one position here I am kind of considering that with, and that is Amgen Inc., ticker AMGN, where I'm up over 30%, and it's a lower weighted position here. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on that, actually, if that might be a decent move for me in this portfolio, taking the profits on Amgen. I am reviewing that, but for the most part, no. I'm not going to be selling out my winners. The idea is to hold on to these, just let compounding do its thing. And this just takes time. I guess I could look into adding a new position here as well, where I'm not going to be averaging down, but we'll see. I already have more stocks in here than I'd prefer. We will see. With Amgen, it's just not one I've been really wanting to add to where it's sitting at, and I don't hold very much of it. So that's kind of why I'm thinking about that one. Now let's take a look at what we're projected to pay out in that sweet dividend income over the next year. That's $852.85 in forward annual income as it stands today. My strongest months, as they've always been, are March, June, September, and December, where I'm expected to collect $125 to $130 here in September. It should be a little more than that if I keep investing in August. Now, my weakest months are February, May, August, and November. I just have less payers in those months. Some are lower. I am building up the portfolio staples, though, like Starbucks and Procter & Gamble, which both pay in those months, and I continue to want to grow those positions. And then January, April, July, October months, this is the middle of the pack. We did $60 roughly this last month of July. So I'm guessing in October we can see it going north of $70. This is interesting to follow and track, but I'm not overly concerned with this while it's still doing the automatic reinvesting phase that we're in. And I do think I'll continue to let all of these stocks just drip themselves, just reinvest the dividends right back into the companies that paid them. I think that's good for smaller accounts. such as this. So let me know down in the comments how your own dividend portfolios have been doing. Are there any stocks you think are good deals right now that maybe I ought to be looking at that I've just completely not been on my radar? I'm being very open-minded right now. Everything right now is basically green. Like I said, it's a great problem to have as an investor. More content to come in August. I will be around this month, aiming to get at least a video out every week in August, as I'm now done with vacation. Summer's going to be wrapping up. So let me know if there's anything you'd have interest in me making a video on. Leave me a note down in the comments. And thanks for sticking around. And until next time, keep investing.